Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see I'm working on 6x12 layouts here. It's double page, and this side has all 3x3 pockets, which tend to always be a little bit tougher for me. It's not my favorite style, but it did work for some of these photos. And then on this side I have more of a standard one where they're all 3x4. So I've already picked out all my photos. I've cropped the ones that needed to be made into a smaller size to fit the 3x3. And so really I just need to find some cards that are going to go in these empty pockets and then figure out what the heck I'm going to do with the photos that are in here. These are all from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. That's a long name. I want to make sure I got that right. In Boston. These are all actually from the main level that goes around the center courtyard. And so I wanted to make sure I got those in because there are some beautiful pieces here and interesting architectural elements. So I want to feature them, but I'm just not exactly sure what to do with them. So we'll see how it goes. I have pulled out my 2 pouches of travel themed cards that are all 3x4. So I have those at the ready. And when I think about color, there is some green showing in some of these. There's even a little bit peeking here through the arch. So I could go with something that had green. It's also in here, but then there's also like a navy blue, a darker blue in here. There's lots of kind of an orangey brown tone, so I really want to stay away from that if I can. And then as a last resort, if I could not find anything else that would work, I could go black and white, but I'd really prefer not to. I'd like to work in some other color, blue or green preferably. There's also kind of some gray in here, but I think that's almost too neutral. I think it would blend in too much, so I think it's probably green or blue if I can get it. So I think I have found 3 of the 4 cards that I want to use. This one, because I think the quote is applicable to what we were doing and seeing. It definitely put me in a state of wonder. So I can cut that down and it'll still fit in there. And then for this pocket here, I found this, and this was actually in my general stash of cards, not in my travel ones, but it works because it's predominantly green, and I like that it's actually got this white arrow because it will point right over to this, plus it brings in some white that I'm going to have over here with this card. I love this because I love what it says, remember this, and it gives me plenty of room to journal, but I also love that it's got this darker blue here, and I can pull that to the other side. So really, I'm left with this one. I have no idea what I'm going to find to put there. I feel like it should have something green because I've got 2 things with blue and I've only got 1 with green. But I may have to go either into the Project Life app to see if I can find something on there that I can print, or there's certainly a chance that in my digital files on my computer that I have another travel card in green that will work. I just don't have it printed, so it's not in my stacks, so I will look there as well. So I didn't find anything in the files on my computer, so I went into the Project Life app, and I have actually selected these 2 3x4 cards. They're from different sets. No, that's not true. They're from the same kit. And I have loaded them on so that I can get 2 on a 4x6. Whoops, there we go. And I am going to print those. So I printed those out and I decided that I liked this one better. So I will just keep this one the way it is and use it for something else. But this one I've already cut down to a 3x3 so that it'll fit. Now, the only issue is that when I put it here, I decided I didn't like these next to each other because they're both just a plain background and then a phrase. So I decided that I think I'm going to switch these, even though I liked the arrow pointing to this. It will still work here because it leads the eye over to the other side of the layout, so that's fine. And it disperses the color a little bit because there's a nice breakup here with that white arrow. So I think that's the configuration I'm going to go with. Now, beyond that, I don't know what else I'm going to do with these photos. I feel like they need something, but it can't be a lot because they're very cool and I don't want to detract from how lovely they are, but they need something. I think I also need to stamp here or something, I don't know, to liven this up, add something to it. So I still have some work ahead of me. To help me with the design aspect, I decided that I would put everything in pockets that I didn't think I could do anything with. So that's the cards that I picked out, the photos that didn't have enough room or that were too busy, whatever it was, I put those in the pockets so I don't touch them. So that leaves me with 3 options here, and 1, 2, 3 options here. I left this out because I don't think I'm going to do anything with it, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if I found something small. I might add to this card. We'll see. But in order to help me, I have pulled out all of my travel phrase labels too. I just thought, they're pretty plain and simple. That might be the way to go here because there's so much happening. So I'm going to go through there and see what I find. So far, I have found one thing in my travel phrases here that's blue. It's a dark navy, and it says today's story. And I like it for right here. It brings in more of the blue with the green, which is awesome. But one of the things I discovered is that in these phrase labels that I have, a lot of them are lighter blue. They're not navy. The ones I do have that are kind of in this color, the phrases do not really work with this layout. I have that one, then I have this one. I have some darker ones like rest and relax. Well, kind of in a museum, but not really. And then I had 2 of these that say my favorite. Well, that doesn't really go. I don't want to single out a particular piece. So I didn't have as many options as I thought I would. So I think maybe on this side I have to go green because I do have more green over there than on this side anyway. So maybe that will help me balance it out if I find something green. Well, sadly, my green labels let me down too. I don't really have exactly the right green. And even if I did have a few, they were not the right phrases. So that's out. So now I'm going into some stickers. I have these, but I know that these tend to be more of like an olive green tone, so I'm not sure that's going to work. I have several other sticker options I'll look into to see if anything will work here. I did find one sticker. I have that one. And the camera doesn't show it very well, but it says noted. And it's actually a lighter green, but I figured that the background was so dark that when I put it on there, that would help, that it would make it look more this shade, and it worked. So I'm going to keep that one, happy with that. But I feel like I still need something else down here, maybe in this spot because this is some dead space. My other option would be up here, and I kind of don't like that because I already have something on the right. So maybe it's going to be in the lower left of this photo. I think I found something that will work here. I actually found a circle embellishment. I didn't like any of the stickers I had, but this I could use because it's plain and it's the right color. So I could take it and just overlap part of this space here. So then it takes up part of this dead area. Plus then I can stamp something on there. So it kind of gives me 2 things at once. So I've actually decided I'm going to do 2 different sets of stamping here. When I was looking at this, I realized this says today and this says today's story. So in order to mix this up a little bit, I've decided I'm going to stamp on there. And I think I'm going to do the one that says in progress, if the camera will focus. Come on. It's this one anyway that says in progress. So it'll say in progress today. And then over here on the circle, I'm going to use this little set. And I want to do the word that says highlights. And it'll be a tight fit, but it will work if I kind of stamp towards the middle where it's the widest. So I'm going to give it a whirl. So here's this one. Did the stamping, attached it, and then I actually put in a little mini staple there. And then here is the stamping I did for this one. And I love it because I actually, just printed this out as you saw, but the design of it makes the ink kind of muted. So when I stamped in a very, very crisp black, it actually looks slightly different. And then the fonts are different. So I really like the way that turned out. So I had put everything in the pockets, and when I looked at it, I didn't like the arrangement on the left-hand side. So I made some changes again. So I switched this one to be on top. This one had been in that pocket, so I switched that to there. And then I decided to switch these 2 down here just so that the greens would be diagonal from each other, not on top of each other in the row. So I think I like this much better, and I think that it's done. So I can do some close-ups here. So on the left-hand side, here's the top row, second row, third row, last row. And I really didn't do a lot of embellishing here. It was really just finding cards and then a couple of stickers and stamping, and I'm fine with that because I want the photos to be the focus. So on the right side, here's the top row, second row, and bottom row. And I'm really pleased with that. I like that it's simple and very clean lines, and it's another one done for Boston, so that's got to be good. Thanks for watching.